it has become very hard to defend our ex-deputy president, Gashagua. Either he is bitter and wants to sink and sink with this country, because he doesn't seem to be strategic, to be wise politically, and to be keen on saving this country from what he is trying to fight.
Hello there and welcome to the Political Oracle, a segment of the Talk Chat podcast. My name is Pendo Setim. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Michael Ndonye. Karibu sana daktari.
Asante.
And before we go to matters at hand, let me give you our today's political benediction. The former US President Barack Obama said that the biggest challenge that we have is that we have become divided. Now, daktari.
Yeah.
This weekend, the ex-deputy president Rigathi Gachagua and the current DP Kindiki found themselves in an altercation following Kindiki's invite of the Kikuyu musicians to his current residence. What do you make of that?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pendo, for that question. And I think it is good having this conversation this morning. When I heard that over the weekend, I also realized that it has become very hard to defend our deputy president, our ex-deputy president, Rigathi Gashagua. I think he is, day at day, he is proving to Kenyans that he is not the best leader that they are looking for to unite this country. And with all due respect, I remember last week we did a video where we praised him and we said he is likely to give Ruto a run for his money and also for his power.
Yeah.
But he is proving us wrong. I don't think what he is doing now, he is doing it right. In fact, Gen Zs will say anabanti sana. Anabanti kila siku. And if he continues like that, it seems he has no advisors. For me, I can say Gashagua seems to have no advisors. He seems to be playing a Samsonian kind of doctrine, whereby either he is bitter and wants to sink and sink with this country, because he doesn't seem to be strategic, to be wise politically, and to be keen on saving this country from what he is trying to fight. In fact, I can say, Rigathi, if he continues the way he is continuing, he will make Ruto look like an angel. Yeah, come 2027. Now, let me go back to the issue now, because he is... of course, Kindiki invited
the musicians
from Central.
Yeah.
In Central, music, and like in any other parts of the country, music is a very powerful tool. And remember, music is actually one of the most lucrative item when it comes to the people we call creatives.
Okay.
Music in Central has been used for politics for many years. And I will tell you, one of the reasons why Ruto was so popular in Central in 2022 was because of music. I remember in around 2021, I did a weekly review in a newspaper where I tried to analyze the impact of music in selling Ruto in Central Kenya. And one of the musicians I highlighted then is the late John DiMatteo. John DiMatteo, who was introduced to William Ruto by the one Uhuru Kenyatta, was so keen to see to it the vision of Uhuru Kenyatta passed, especially the vision that Uhuru was to do his 10 years and Ruto was to do his other 10 years. And you remember the Kumi Yangu and the Kumi ya Ruto statement by the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, Matthew went on a kind of an errand to produce music that was praising Ruto in Central. And if you went to Central in around 2021, 2022, no other music was playing. Actually, it was John DeMatthews' music, trying to tell, because he used to call him my friend in his music. Even when he died, there were many pieces that were produced later praising Ruto. And that way, Ruto was so popular, and Ruto was like immortalized in the hearts of Mount Kenya people. Now, at that particular time, we did not see Uhuru Kenyatta trying to prevent musicians from, or even listeners, from listening to Matthew's music. In fact, it went on to become so influential. I can say the Kikuyu musicians produced more songs actually to praise Ruto than they produced to praise Uhuru Kenyatta. So now Rigathi is coming here, and he is also trying now to play with the musicians from Central. They can bring him down. He should also know that, as we know, Rigathi, I don't think he is a Gen Z who listens to music produced by the likes of Samido, the likes of, because I saw those went there, the likes of Karangu Muraya, the likes of Josega Tutura, the likes of DJ Fatso, who does, of course, the mixing of the music, the likes of Garuya Jr. Gashagua is a Ruba man. First of all, he has no authority to order Kikuyu musicians to be in his favor. I don't think he likes Kikuyu music. He should come from that standpoint. So before he starts now castigating the government for having musicians, and we know when he was in government, and I'm not trying to defend this government. I'm trying to analyze it from the most neutral point.
Okay.
When Rigathi Gachagua was in government, he remembers very well their first promise to Kenyans, and especially to the young people, was to support the creative ministry. And they have picked a number of them. And they employed some of them. And no one was complaining.
Yeah.
So the issue of music and the Kenya Kwanza government is not something that is new. And I think Gashagua should sit down and find a way of now correcting this government in a way that Kenyans will listen to him and say, okay, this is a sensible person, instead of being drawn into these petty things like the issue of musicians, because they will bring him down in the first place. So we have heard Kikuyu politicians being used because music is used for politics, music is used to promote campaigns, and not one person, not two people, and they don't even care where the musician comes from, because musicians in the first place, they are a tribe, they are tribeless. Yeah, they are tribeless. Everyone listens to Samido's music, whether he does it in Kikuyu or whatever language. Everyone in this country listens to his music, whether they understand what he is. Just like Gashagua himself, he listens to rumba and he does not understand French. So when he starts now bringing politics around musicians, now he is touching actually the raw nerve of the Gen Z who are actually planning to support him, who are saying this is an alternative government, this is an alternative person to William Ruto. And if they do that, if he continues doing that, as I have said, he will make Ruto look like a nature, number one. Number two, he will actually be in such a way that even the Kikuyu themselves, they will feel ashamed associating with him.
Okay.
And that is why I think, I remember there was a time, and the tragedy of politician is usually like this, Pendo. I remember in 2022, the opposition was always complaining about William Ruto. They were saying, oh, William Ruto is paying politicians. That is why they are going on his side. William Ruto is bribing them. And, I remember doing a column at one particular time when they were saying now William Ruto is buying Kalonzo Musyoka and is planning to buy Kalonzo Musyoka and his Oka, whatever team. And I asked them, if this politics is about buying, that is the strategy of the game. Are you poor? Why can't you buy also Kalonzo Musyoka? If he can be bought on the other side, if he's an item to be bought, you can also buy him. You are not poor. You have money. If that is the rule of the game, you have to buy because politics is dirty.
Yeah.
So to Gashagua, if he feels that Kindiki, the DP Kindiki, is buying musicians with 50,000, Rigathi Gachagua is a billionaire. He can buy them.
Yeah, he can.
Let him buy them. Let him also call them in Karen or wherever he lives. And let him give them money and convince them not to be on the side of the government. I am becoming this extreme just to try to tell him what he is complaining to us and to Kenyans and try to sabotage the creatives by telling Kenyans to boycott their music is actually going to be an undoing in his dream or vision of having this government replaced. And I think with all due respect, I think Gashagua is letting us down. Kenyans are looking for an alternative government. If he is going to be that low in his way of doing things, then I think we do not still have someone who can lead this country. And as I will keep repeating, he is now making Ruto look like a nature. And he should sit down, either have an advisor advise him on how to do politics the right way. Yes.
And how do you think his comments will affect the perception by the people?
Of course, that is the perception is that, as I have said, no one will see him as a serious alternative. No one is actually. I think if I were now to a person with a political party, a politician who wants to get into his side, I would think twice. And I think if he continues like that, the opposition should find another way, another center of mobilization. Yes, and I will say this, not that I know Gashagua, I have respected him, I have thought that he is going to be an alternative person, but that kind of, the way he is now playing low, now he has moved from politicians, he has now fallen to a third level to deal with the creatives, people who are going to the government to negotiate for their rights. He cannot do that. It is only through the government that they can go and negotiate. Whether they like the government or they don't like the government, it is their government. And them going there, I remember one of the musicians said, the fact that they are going there does not mean they support the government. That is true. It doesn't mean they support the government. But it is this government that has the power and ability to fight for them. Are they supposed to have everything stop simply because Gachagua is not in government? Are they supposed to stop their lives so that now they wait for Gachagua to be elected as president? We cannot stop this country. We will continue with the current government until we have another chance to elect an alternative. And if Gachagua has a vision, let him produce a sober alternative. and he has a chance. Gachagua has a chance, and he is destroying that chance. If he destroys the chance, he should not now cry later and say, oh, the votes were stolen, oh, see what happened. He should know that politics is about strategy. And one time I wrote a column also to that effect, and I told him he should actually, as much as he hates and is bitter with William Ruto, he should learn the strategies that William Ruto used in 2022 to win Kenyans. He just needs to copy that, improve a little, and then he will be good to go. But the way he is going, he is banting and a banty sana. Yeah, that's what I can tell him. That's my opinion.
Okay. And we saw the Deputy President Kindiki. He was very angry about his comments, and he was saying that Gashagua has no right to order anyone, especially the musicians.
Yeah, Kithure Kindiki, the deputy president who replaced Gashagua. I think even him, he has his own weaknesses. And I think on that, I would agree with him. I would agree with him that he has the right to do that. And even Gashagua used to do that. I don't know why he's complaining. And we should see Gashagua from the point of being a bitter person, because he is not in government. I don't know what would happen if Gashagua was in government. Would he still make the same comments? I don't think so. So Kindiki, it was expected. He has not said something new. Of course, he has to defend. He has to use that, because now Gachagua has given him a weapon to fight him back legitimately. So Kithure has just been handed a knife by Gachagua, and Gachagua has been left empty-handed, and Gachagua wants them to fight. Kindiki will have the backing of the people, because what Gachagua is saying is not sensible. So any other person, any other Kenyan would respond to Gashagua's political behavior, the way Kindiki has said. Yeah.
And his comments this weekend follows the ones he made the other week, where he was talking about the post-election violence and if Ruto wins the elections in 2027.
Yeah.
And in your column, you wrote, you said that the Kalenjins and the Kikuyus in the Rift Valley are not really amused by his talk or his comments about the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I'll go back to, even if you listened to what Gashagua was saying, he is talking about Jamii.
Yeah.
You know, for many Kenyans who do not understand Kikuyu, I understand Kikuyu because I was brought up in Kutus. Kutus is in Kirinyaga, up to 8 years. My first language was Kikuyu. I know how to read and write in Kikuyu. And I know the most doctrines of Kikuyu more than any other language. When he talks of Jamii, actually in Kikuyu, they call it Ruriri. Ruriri is actually the clan.
Okay.
The what they call the house of Mumbi. So when he says these musicians betrayed Jamii, actually he is actually translating the Kikuyu into Kiswahili. Now, Gashagua is supposed to lead this nation, or he is posing as a person who can lead this nation. This nation is bigger than Kikuyu community, and especially Kikuyu in Central. What we call Mount Kenya region, it covers up to Meru, where Kindiki comes from. In fact, in terms of Mount Kenya region, Kindiki comes from Mount Kenya. He is not supposed to be fighting in the first place. But now he is isolating the Kikuyu from other people in Mount Kenya region, who are the Meru people, okay, the Mbere people, the Embu people, of course, and related tribes. and he's trying to pick only the Kikuyu and say if they are betraying Roreri or what he is calling Jamii. Okay, remember going back to your question, the other day he talked about the IEBC in a very sensitive way. And he said, if the IEBC will swear in President Ruto, the 2007-2008 post-election violence will look like Christmas.
Yeah.
And my thinking in last week's column was this. What is he saying to people in the Rift Valley? In the Rift Valley, actually, I can guess the ratio of Kikuyu to Kalenjin is around 7:3 or 6:4. Because Kalenjins and Kikuyus in Rift Valley are living together, there are no other communities in Kenya, in this country, who live together like the Kikuyu and the Kalenjin in the Rift Valley. If you go to 2007-2008, the people who fought most, because they had access to one another, were the Kikuyu and the Kalenjins in the Rift Valley. So anyone or any politician who is trying to put division in these two communities is actually playing with the lives of Kenyans. And also, I usually say, in Kenya, we go to elections without tension if we know that Kikuyus and the Kalenjins are voting in the same ballot. Because if they are divided, they can easily fight. The way they have integrated, the way they have intertwined in such a way that your neighbor is a Kikuyu, another one is a Kalenjin, another one Kikuyu, Kalenjin. So if they start fighting, it's not like when, for example, Luos are voting against Kikuyus, because you cannot transport Luos from Nyanza to go and fight Kikuyus in Central. And the same way you cannot transport Kikuyus from Central with the cars to go and fight Luos. They have the advantage and the protection of geography. It is not the same with the people in Rift Valley. Your neighbor here, you just pick an arrow, your neighbor picks a machete, and then you meet out there and you start fighting. And they can easily kill one another. And that is why I was wondering, what kind of leader is Gashagua going to be if he has no empathy, let me call it like that, with the experiences of Kikuyus in Rift Valley in 2027, 2007, 2008. It means, what I'm saying, he may not be having very good advisors to advise him, that one of the reasons why Ruto was popular in 2022 was because Ruto had to unite the Kikuyus. So the Kikuyus in Central who have relatives in Rift Valley, they knew if this man is on our side, our relatives in the Rift Valley are safe. The people in the Kalenjins who are in Rift Valley knew if this person is also including Kikuyu in his politics, we are safe. We are not going to fight. And there had no tension either before or after elections. Gachagua cannot decipher that because so simple a wisdom that he needs to know if he has to unite Kikuyu, he cannot leave Kalenjins behind. So if he wants this country to be peaceful, let him go back to Ruto.
Okay.
So that we remove them together if we don't want them. But I think to me, that was my argument, and I was thinking it is not something that people in the Rift Valley are taking lightly. he should actually recant. He should actually apologize because he is selling out.
Okay.
He is seemingly so much preoccupied with the Kikuyu in Central, and not now because now he has excluded Kikuyus in the Mount Kenya region. He is now preoccupied with the Kikuyus in Central, and among those Kikuyus now he is trying to remove the creatives, who actually are the biggest voice to Gen Zs. At the end of it, he is going to be left with nothing. And I think I have to tell him like this because of the hope that people and most people had on him. He has just to correct it. Either he take my word, or at the end of it, he is going to find himself fighting alone. Yes.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for your insights. We have come to the end of the Political Oracle. Until we meet next time, bye-bye.